Hi South Africa team, I'm Elizabeth Arnott and I'm so happy to be chatting with you. South Africa has a big place in my heart. My twin sister is married to a South African, so I've spent a lot of time out there, from Cape Town to Joburg and Durban, and I'm a wildlife nut too, so lots of time in the Kruger and the Sabi Sands and the game parks. So I'm particularly excited to tell you about The Secret Lives of Murderers' Wives, a sun-soaked 1960s mystery with three unusual leading heroines. Beverly, Elsie and Margot couldn't be more different, but they have one thing that bonds them together, and that is that they are all ex-wives of serial killers. When a string of murders hits their pretty white picket neighbourhood, the women get to work. After all, who better to catch a killer than those who have shared a bed and a life with one? Early readers have kindly called the book Mad Men with Murders, Lessons in Chemistry with Californian Serial Killers. But more than that, I like to see it as a love letter to the forgotten victims of violent crime and a testament to the power and resilience of female friendship, because women are unstoppable, and when they get together, there's nothing they can't do. Thank you very much for the incredible work that you do, and I really, really hope you enjoy the book. Bye.
Tannie Maria is back! Hi, I'm Sally Andrew, the author of the Tannie Maria Murder Mysteries set in the Klein Karoo. They've been published across the world in over 15 languages, and there's an international TV series, Recipes for Love and Murder. These books have won many awards, the most recent being the Gourmand Best of the Best over the last 30 years in its category for the cookbook, Recipes to Live For. But my biggest reward is that Tannie Maria makes people happy. She's a kind, quirky agony aunt who gets letters sent to the Klein Karoo Gazette. She provides some wise advice, but more importantly, a recipe. Book 5, novel number 5, is Wild Things Never Die. It's set in the Karoo Wilderness Reserve, where Tannie Maria goes undercover along with her fiancé, Detective Henk Kannemeyer, and her hen, Henrietta. They are there to tackle succulent poaching, but they end up solving a murder or two. It's a beautiful setting of the Wilderness Reserve and a fabulous cast of characters, not only the Ladysmith bunch, but a whole lot of international guests at the Luxury Lodge, and of course, a lot of wild and beautiful animals. Tannie Maria is also dealing with her fear of the dark, and Henrietta is recovering from PTSD from her encounter with a jackal in the previous book, The Milk Tart Murders. I explore the theme of connection rather than control, connection with self, with spirit, and particularly with nature. I really enjoyed writing this book, and I hope that you enjoy it too. I'm deeply grateful to all of you that are helping to spread the Tannie Maria love across the land. Thank you.
Hi there. I'm Penny Hoare, and I am delighted to tell you about my new work of biographical historical fiction. It's called The Woman and Her Stars, and it tells the story of Caroline Herschel, who, when she was added to the payroll of King George III in 1787, became the world's first salaried woman astronomer. Caroline's story is particularly compelling, not only because of her skills in astronomy, but also because she was born in Hanover as part of a large family and suffered from smallpox and typhus as a child. She was scarred and her growth was severely stunted. Her mother decided that she was not worth an education and that no man would want her, so she was destined to be the family servant and was working to clean her mother's house, to be the servant, when one of her brothers, William, returned from England, where he was working as a musician in Bath, to Hanover, and decided that Caroline was worth more. He negotiated with their mother. He paid her the cost of replacing Caroline as a servant and promised their mother that he would return Caroline to her if Caroline didn't prove useful to him. And he took Caroline to Bath. Caroline received the education that she had dreamed of. She learned how to be a soprano and was an accomplished soprano, and worked alongside William, who she absolutely worshipped. When William's head was turned by astronomy and he discovered the planet Uranus, he was appointed King's astronomer to King George III, and Caroline followed him into astronomy. Now, the fascinating thing about her was it took her a long time to recognize her autonomy and to recognize that she was as skilled an astronomer as her brother. She was so beholden to him that she lived in his shadow for a long time. The Woman of the Stars is a story about Caroline's journey of self-discovery and how she became an independent astronomer and a woman who knew her worth and stepped out of her brother's shadow. I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I enjoyed writing it, and I thank you very much for your support.
Hi, South Africa. It's Karen Swan. You may have heard the news by now, I'm sure, that I have joined the Transworld family, which I am so excited about. I'm tremendously proud to be such an part of such an amazing stable of authors. And I have written my new book, which I'd love to tell you about. It's called Three Summers, and it's set in Puglia in southern Italy in the late 1950s, early 1960s. The action is carried over 3 non-consecutive summers and pivots around a love triangle. The story unfolds through the perspective of each of the protagonists. So we have 2 men and a woman, and so that means actually 2/3 of the book is told through the male gaze, which is a new thing for me. And I found it really interesting writing like that. The book still has all the Karen Swan hallmarks of a big, sweeping love story, an amazing, just beautiful, not necessarily tropical, but beautiful setting. This is in the Med, obviously. And there's that historical element, which I've brought into some of my previous summer books, but also obviously through the St Kilda series. So there's all those elements that make it a Karen Swan book, but I'm always looking for new ways to tell my stories, and that's how this story is told. I personally love it. I'm really proud of it. I hope you will love it too. I hope we can get out to as many of my South African readers as possible. But I would just love to say thank you for your support. It means the world.
Hello, I'm Jenny Godfrey, the author of The Barbecue at Number 9, and a huge shout out to the Penguin South Africa Showcase. So The Barbecue at Number 9 is set over the 12 hours of the Live Aid concert in 1985. But it's not about Live Aid, it's about the residents of Delmont Close, which is a new build housing estate in the UK. And they're getting together for the first time to celebrate at a barbecue the historic Live Aid concert. But somebody is watching them. Who and why we will discover through the eyes of Hannah, Rita and Steve, all of whom live on Delmont Close and all of whose secrets are about to be revealed. I really hope you love it.
Hallo, my naam is Martin Stein en hierdie is my nuwe boek Skimme en Spoorsoekers, 'n kortverhaalbundel met 21 stories. Toe ek destyds begin het om stories te skryf, het ek kortverhale geskryf. My inspirasie om te begin skryf was Stephen King en my eerste boek van hom was Skeleton Crew, 'n kortverhaalbundel. Ek het daai boek gekoester en daar gedroom om eendag so 'n bundel vir my eie te hê en vandag is dit daardie dag. In hierdie bundel is my eerste storie wat gepubliseer is. Daar is verskeie stories wat in tydskrifte en ander bundels verskyn het en daar is stories wat nog nooit voorheen gepubliseer is nie. Hoekom Skimme en Spoorsoekers? Want daar stories wat oor skimme gaan. Regte skimme, soos 'n vrou wat langs die Nysnameer verskyn en die figuurlike skimme tussen ons wat voorgee dat hulle normaal is. Daar's ook stories oor spoorsoekers. 'n Vrou wat deur Namibië ry om die raaisel van 'n meisie en diamante op te los en 'n speurder wat 'n moordenaar jag om 'n seentjie wat die moord gesien het te beskerm. Die laaste storie in die bundel is 'n novelle met die naam Koue Bloed. Dit is baie soortgelyk aan my eerste boeke, Donker Spoor en Skuldig. Mijn adjudant Colin Menk, wat in die boeke is dan ook terug as hoofkarakter. Maar ons iets anders in hierdie storie wat ek nog nie voorheen in 'n polisieriller gedoen het nie. Dele van die storie word deur die oë van die verdagte vertel. Hy word die oggend wakker na 'n nag van heeltemal te veel tequila en hy kan nie onthou eintlik wat gebeur het nie. Maar onder sy naels sien hy is daar bloed. Hy strompel deur die woonstel en in die kombuis op die vloer sien hy sy vriendin se liggaam in 'n poel bloed. Hy kan nie onthou wat gebeur het nie. Maar hy dink aan moorde soos De Zalze en hy glo die polisie gaan dadelik dink dis hy. Miskien was dit hy weet nie. En hy kies om te hardloop. Baie dankie vir julle tyd en baie dankie dat julle my boeke met lesers deel.
Ek is Elisabeth Wasserman, skrywer van die Lekker Lees Mevrou Smit reeks. Mevrou Smit woon deesdae op Arendspoort. Ons het haar leer ken as 'n volstoom vrou met 'n verlede, wat sy ten alle koste probeer wegsteek van die ander inwoners van die dorp. Nie 'n maklike taak nie, want tannie Annetjie en haar trawante laat hulle nie sommer om die bos lei nie. Vandat Mevrou Smit op Arendspoort kom woon het, was daar al heelwat drama. 'n Paar moorde ook. Almal wil weet of die ding tussen haar en Dr. Thomas tot 'n punt gaan kom, maar die twee van hulle weet duidelik nie hoe om 'n verhouding ordentlik aan die brand te kry nie, en die intriges op die dorp maak dit nie juis makliker nie. Boonop moet doen Mevrou Smit dinge op haar eie manier. Hester se liefdeslewe vorder dalk veel beter as Mevrou Smit se. Dan is daar weer 'n moord en sy moet bond staan om te sorg dat sy nie die volgende teiken word nie. Kan sy betyds 'n ooreenkoms tref met die polisie en dit regkry om inligting oor die Kaapse onderwêreld te verhuil vir haar eie veiligheid? Dis 'n gevaarlike spel. Sy vind nuwe bondgenote, maak nog meer vyande en kry dan hulp van 'n onverwagse oord. Doodgewoon Mevrou Smit, die 4de boek in hierdie reeks. Weer is daar genoeg spanning, intriges en humor om ons lesers vinniger te laat blaai.
There is one silent force that undermines your potential, eats away at your confidence, and traps you in overthinking. It's self-doubt. You can't outperform it, but you can rewire it. Hey readers in South Africa, I'm Dr. Sade Zarai, a behavior researcher and peak performance educator to Fortune 500s, and I have taught over 7 million students. And my book, Big Trust, helps you stop hesitating, overthinking, and waiting until you feel ready. It shows you step by step how to decode your self-doubt, find your confidence, and fuel success. I spent the last 5 years researching proven strategies to rise above self-doubt, and I have poured it all into this book. I take you through a powerful 4-part science-backed framework to build the kind of inner attributes that help you become limitless. Acceptance helps you stop outsourcing your worth. Agency helps you fully trust that you can achieve your goals. Autonomy allows you to feel powerful to create the life you want. And adaptability helps you recover from anything that comes your way. It is packed with tools and steps that you can take right now to rewire the beliefs that held you back for too long. That's what it means to show up with big trust, backing yourself when it counts so that you can create the life you've always dreamed about. I cannot wait for you to get your hands on Big Trust.
Hi, I'm Pierre Claassen, the author of The Bok Way. The book focuses on the 2018 to 2025 double World Cup champion Springbok team to understand what they've been doing to create a high-performing environment that brings the best out of people so that they can compete on the highest level. The really cool thing about the book is that I was able to interview key members of the team that have been a part of the environment for a very long time, to understand in depth what they do to create the best place for people to perform. What I did then was to unpack in a sporting context what you can do in your business or team environment where you have influence to create high-performing environments to bring the best out of your people. So if you are interested in influencing culture, creating high-performing environments, and just really interested about what the Boks do to be the best team in the world, this book is for you. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for the support.
Hello, my name is Rashad Ahmed. I'm the author of Leading with Wisdom, a call to returning to human wisdom in the age of AI. My book takes a deep dive into the situation we find ourselves on multiple levels, referred to as the meta crisis. Not one particular crisis, but many crises interplaying on each other. A new way of thinking, a new way of engaging, and a new way of relating to the world and to ourselves is very much needed. When the first early chatbots were released, I withdrew totally. It felt like the world had shifted significantly. After months of silence and stillness, a message emerged deep within me. We must return to human wisdom. We must return to the human intelligence that lies deep within us all. If we are to navigate the future, which is filled with a lot of uncertainty and a lot of unease, we have to investigate how we got here as a planet and as a people, and how our thinking and our perception and our values have affected where we are at the moment. We also have an entire way of thinking that came from the Industrial Revolution, where profits were most important and the people, the planet, and our communities didn't matter at all. We have no choice right now but to look at these issues. So the solution out of it is not to think in isolation, not to think in boxes. I ended up writing this book as a guide for the future. If we are to survive as a planet and as a people, we have to change our values. We have to change what matters dearly to us. This book is a guide. It's very raw. It's very honest. And it tells us to look within to find out how we got ourselves here. So it's about taking responsibility for our people, for our planet, and for our workplaces.
Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Dominique Olivier and I'd like to take a minute to talk to you about the book that's made me a first-time author. It's called Lessons from Loss: Life on the Other Side of Grief. Now usually when I describe this book to people, I say that it's 50% memoir, 50% guide. We'll get back to the guide bit just now. The memoir section kicks off in October of 2022 when I lost my husband and my eldest daughter in a car accident. I was only 29 years old at the time, instantly widowed, terrified for the future, and left with a newborn baby to raise on my own. It's taken me a while to put this story on paper, but when I did, I knew that I wanted it to be more than a memoir. I didn't just want to retell my story and leave it there. I wanted to connect with other people who had suffered losses and let them know that they weren't alone in these awful experiences that they were going through. That's why every chapter of this book starts with a vignette from my story and is then followed with a section where I kind of pull apart what happened, the lessons that I learned through that particular experience, and consider how they might apply to other people going through similar things. And when I say similar things, I mean that in a very broad sense. Even though my story is one of classic bereavement, I acknowledge that that doesn't happen to everyone, yet we all suffer losses of varying degrees over the course of our lifetimes. So by deliberately broadening the subject matter from just grief to loss, I've made this book applicable to people who've lost loved ones, pets, relationships, opportunities, even long careers, because I believe that the particular circumstances of our losses may divide us, but the things we go through afterwards are often very similar. That's why I wrote this book, and that's the audience that I'm hoping to connect with. So thank you so much for listening to me, for considering my book, and for taking it out there, because you are the people who are going to bring this piece of writing to the people who need to read it. For that, I thank you.
My name is Kenneth Deborah Middleton, and my cookbook is titled Paradise. Paradise is about indulgence. It's about decadence. It's about food as a form of pleasure. I was inspired to write this book as a counter-narrative to a lot of the messaging that surrounds food that can instill feelings of guilt or shame simply for enjoying food. I'd like to thank all the bookstores and all the outlets that currently stock my book. A huge thank you to all the media that has featured or reviewed the book. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tony Jackman, and my book's title says everything about what you'll find inside. Retro Karoo Food. This book is my love letter to the Karoo, the supposedly arid part of the South African interior where people make and eat food from their very souls. Everything in the book sprang from the thousands of recipes and words I've written during the past 7 years for TGI Food, my food section in Daily Maverick. We shot on location in my 3 favorite Karoo towns, the Tuishuise in Cradock, the Huntomhuis, Boekehuis and Ruperthuis in Calvinia, and the Lord Milner Hotel in Mikersfontein. All of these places are celebrated in glorious photographs with additional illustrations by my wonderful brother-in-law, Jerry Kuhn. If Retro Karoo Food stands out on the shelves, it will be because of the love and passion that went into its creation. Retro Karoo Food is for South Africans who love their own heritage and for visitors who'd like to go back home with a souvenir, a useful souvenir, as they'll be able to cook those recipes back home. Fancy making a genuine Karoo bean soup, old-fashioned Cape chicken pie, skarpstaartjies, that's lamb's tails, and a peppermint crisp tart, as well as the best things to cook in a potjie and on the braai? You've come to the right book.
Hi everybody, my name is Zola Nene and I am super excited to present to you my 4th cookbook, Simply More Zola, the deliciousness continues. I am so thrilled with this book. It speaks to what my other books behind me all spoke of, simplifying cooking and making it as least intimidating as possible. So yes, more incredible recipes that follow my food journey. There's a travel chapter in here. The book before this one was all about 7 colors, so I couldn't leave out 7 colors in this book. So more delicious, colorful, nutritious recipes to follow. Lots of stuff that speaks to nostalgia. I love using indigenous produce as well, so that is featured in this book as well. I draw inspiration from seasonality, from ingredients that I grew up eating, simplifying the recipes that my mom taught me. Yeah, it's all in here and I could not be any more proud. Proudly South African recipes in here as well. And some interesting chapters, not your usual, breakfast, lunch and dinner. We have, a Netflix and chill chapter in here because we do love a movie time snack as well. And I hope that everybody who gets their hands on this book really feels the emotions that I put into it, and as well as celebrates the kind of food that South Africans love to eat and the type of food that I love to share. So here it is, Simply More Zola. I hope that you will spread the love and spread the word and celebrate this book with me. Thank you so much.
There is nothing like the feeling of finally merging with your own biology. When it happens, everything else falls away. You stop thinking about the next meal. You stop fighting the cravings. The diet disappears, and what you need for your body and what you see on your plate finally line up. That's flow. And when you find it, food stops being a negotiation. It becomes an extension of how you live. I am Hendrik Maree, and this is Living the Ultimate Carnivore Lifestyle. You may know me from my keto lifestyle books, which were a great success thanks to readers like yours. And today I'm excited to share the next edition of my work with you, which is on the carnivore diet. I was motivated to write this book because the carnivore diet is first and foremost a form of ketogenic diet. And secondly, because I find that the conversation around carnivore nutrition has become loud and unclear. The space is full of extremes, with voices telling you what's right, what's wrong, what's pure and what's impure in black and white terms. This is unhelpful. This creates anxiety and confusion and a fear of doing it incorrectly. I wanted to cut through that noise. My inspiration was to move away from rigid dogma and impossible rules to help South Africans find a way of following a carnivore diet that actually suits them. What your readers will love about this book is that it's not a rigid rule book. Instead, it's a framework for self-experimentation where I guide readers through the carnivore spectrum, from strict carnivore to relaxed carnivore and ketovore. This book empowers readers to build a foundation with easy-to-follow meal plans and recipes that fight inflammation, help with weight loss, and break food addiction, without the shame of cheating or the pressure of being perfect. This book represents a fresh start for many people, but also an evolution for those who are already familiar with the ketogenic diet and want to experiment further. I want to thank the media and the booksellers for their continued support, and I look forward to get this tool into the hands of your readers.
Hello, my name is Farhana Yunus and I'm the author of Dear Wahid. This book is a collection of letters written during a reflective time in my life, exploring healing, growth and resilience. While these letters were originally for my son, they speak to readers of all ages navigating challenges or seeking meaning. I wrote this book because I believe in the power of words to hold us, to guide us, and to sometimes save us. It is my hope that readers will find comfort in these pages, perhaps even a little clarity or a reminder that they are not alone in their experiences. I would like to thank the media partners and booksellers for bringing stories like mine to readers. Thank you for your time and support.
Ek is Sonet Du Plessis, skrywer van die boek Groete uit Skotland. Ek is 'n gepubliseerde skrywer van kortverhale en artikels. Ek en my man het vir amper 6 jaar in Skotland gewoon. Die prentjie mooi land en sy vriendelike mense het diep in ons harte kom lê. Die hoofkarakters van die roman, Francis en Gerbrand, het op 'n Skotse reendag in my kop kom nes maak. Francis, 'n onderwyseres, is 'n Skot, maar sy het in Suid-Afrika groot geword. Gerbrand is 'n jong Afrikaanse predikant. Beide wil in Skotland 'n nuwe begin maak, nadat hulle diep seer gekry het. Francis se ouma, Martie, boer op die familieplaas in Mpumalanga. Agter die lekker boeiende verhaal is die een ding wat alle mense langs die pad raakloop, naamlik verlies. Of jy nou jou gesondheid, of jou onskuld, of 'n dierbare verloor. Daar is ook die verlies aan identiteit, wat 'n wêreldwye probleem is, weens die verskuiwing van mense as gevolg van konflik, of die drang na 'n beter lewe. Daar is ook die kwessies rondom seksuele identiteit. Dit alles bring 'n mens voor die vraag, waarin vind ek my identiteit? Hierdie verhaal sal die leser so meevoer, dat hulle agterna nog lank oor die karakters se stryd en keuses sal dink. En glo my, die leser sal genot put uit genoeg humor en 'n tonekrul liefdesverhaal. Sonder dat daar gepreek word, ontdek die leser dat daar 'n groter sekerheid is, as dat verlies jou pad sal kruis. Lekker lees!
Hallo, Ek is Frenet van Wyk en dit is vir my 'n voorreg om vir julle te vertel van my nuwe boek Om weer te dans. Dit is 'n historiese roman oor twee mense, Barabbas en Ziva, wat mekaar liefhet, wat foute maak en seer kry, maar hulle pad terug na herstel vind. Ek het die boek geskryf met die wens om lesers te inspireer, om te wys elkeen van ons het net soos Barabbas en Ziva 'n oomblik in ons lewe waar ons moet kies tussen ou wonde en nuwe hoop. En die boek sê juis dat daar 'n pad terug na hoop is. Dis ook my bedoeling om te wys dat elke mens, ten spyte van teleurstelling en wanhoop en gebrokenheid, die vermoë het om weer op te staan en weer te dans, om weer 'n tyd van vreugde en innerlike feesviering te geniet. Lesers wil hou van verhale met emosionele diepte en karakters wat groei, sal die pad saam met Barabbas en Ziva deur Galilea, Jerusalem en die gebeure rondom die kruisiging van Jesus geniet. Dit is ook 'n avontuur, 'n innerlike avontuur. En die uitdagings, die lesse en die oorwinnings van die karakters is steeds van toepassing op ons en die lewe vandag. Ten slotte wil ek baie dankie sê vir elke boekwinkel eienaar en elke leser wat deel word van hierdie leeservaring.